It is good let the story of Europe be told by Europeans, let the story of Africa be told by Africans, and let the story of the Chinese be told by the Chinese. Africans should ask for restitution.
You think so?
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The greatest weapon you can ever use to change the world is education. Let the African get justice.
From the timeless rhythmic legacy of Lingala that has carried generations to today's global waves of Afrobeats and Amapiano, African music has always been a force. And it's not just the sound. From the architectural genius of great Zimbabwe's stone cities to the rich patterns of our textiles now seen on global runways, African creativity has always shaped the world's imagination. But here's the question. In the digital age, where our culture now travels instantly through platforms and algorithms, who owns the stage? Who controls the channels where Africa's creativity, stories, and identities are shared, archived, and monetized? Welcome to Tech Talk Africa, the show that goes beyond the headlines to ask who is shaping our continent's digital future, how, and for whose benefit. I'm your host, Stella Gichuhi. Today, we dive into the powerful intersection of culture, communication, and information in a digital-first era. This conversation isn't just for artists or policymakers. It matters for CIOs, innovators, and every tech leader building the future of Africa's digital economy. At its heart, culture is data, and data is power. Joining me is Dr. Joel Ongoto, Acting Deputy Secretary General for Research and Resource Mobilization and Director of the Social and Human Science Program at the Kenya National Commission for UNESCO, KNATCOM. He's at the forefront of safeguarding and promoting Africa's cultural heritage, while helping us think critically about what it means in today's connected world. Dr. Joel has also spearheaded the adoption of the UNESCO standard-setting instrument on UNESCO's recommendation on the ethics of AI, or artificial intelligence. Dr. Ongoto, karibu sana, and welcome to Tech Talk Africa.
Thank you, Stella.
Now, before we dive into the conversation, could you tell us a bit about your work at NATCOM and why you believe this conversation about culture and digital communication is important for Africa right now?
Oh, thank you very much for the invitation and the kind words as you were introducing me. My name is Joel Ongoto. I work at the Kenya National Commission for UNESCO, currently as Acting Deputy Secretary General, as you have correctly stated, where I coordinate matters that relate to research, partnership, and resource mobilization. But for a long time, I've been the program director in charge of social and human sciences within the Kenya's National Commission for UNESCO, which is one of the UNESCO areas of competence where we deal with matters that relate to ethics, gender, human rights, democracy, history and memory, and issues that relate to social development. In my other role as Deputy Secretary General in an acting position, we normally get into research, and research informs policy. We believe that we cannot be able to solve the world problems without partnership. We also believe that to be able to solve the problems that affect humanity, some of them that you have highlighted in your introduction, we have to mobilize enough resources to be able to solve this problem. So I'm very glad to be invited to your show. And this conversation will inform our policymakers, the private sector and government, to be able to see what we can do to address the problems that you have just highlighted as you are introducing the broadcast.
Thank you, Dr. Joel. Now, let's get into the meat of it. African culture, as you know, is thriving online, from music and fashion to storytelling and memes. But much of this happens on platforms we don't own. So, Dr. Joe, from your perspective, how has technology fundamentally reshaped the way African culture is shared and expressed?
I think I want to say that when we were growing up, the current platforms and applications that have been developed mostly in Europe and America and now currently in China, by China, they are really controlled by the West. You find that very few Africans are in this tech space. Much of it is controlled by the West. Our work as a commission for UNESCO is to support young people who really drive the tech space currently to come up with mobile applications that try to address this gap, because we don't want to leave our heritage to be, taken by other people. Because we say whoever, you know, drives the agenda will always bring his or her interests to the agenda. So you will think that we we are, for example, controlling our story, but the story is being really driven by other forces that we don't understand. So for me, Stella, and from where I sit, is to encourage young people in Africa and in Kenya to get into the tech space, to be able to protect our culture. Because one of the UNESCO competence areas is culture. And by the way, at the beginning, I did say that UNESCO plays a big, big role in the space of promoting peace and sustainable development using the 5 programs of UNESCO. That is education, the social and human sciences, the natural sciences, culture, and communication and information. That's what we do from Monday to Friday. That's what we think about, sleep about, sleep and dream about. So then, because how do we do this? Kenya being a member state of UNESCO number 73, having joined in 1964, it's over 61 years since we joined UNESCO. And if you read the UNESCO constitution, the preamble of that constitution, it states very clearly that since wars begin in the minds of men and women, it is in these minds that defenses for peace must be constructed. If our narratives are being driven by other people, then for sure we cannot have sustainable peace. We cannot have sustainable development. So that is why I think this conversation is very important to see how we can be able to address this problem where the tech space, all the applications that are there to document our heritage, the story and the technology is being controlled by other people. And this does not mean that we, we, we are not inclusive. It is good, let the story of Europe be told by Europeans. Let the story of Africa be told by Africans. And let the story of the Chinese be told by the Chinese. Let it not be told by people who are not Africans, who do not understand our cultures, who do not understand our way of life, because culture is a way of life.
It is.
Thank you.
It's in our DNA. Thank you so much. Now, just topping up on what you've said, great sentiments. Now, would you agree that there are instances where our African culture has been amplified globally, but the communities behind it didn't receive the full benefit or recognition? I hope I'm not asking your question to repeat yourself, but you've mentioned the youth. I also believe that they've probably not been recognized. But are there other instances where, like I said, communities are not receiving the full benefit or recognition in their work?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see, I don't want to give examples, but it's good to give examples in this conversation.
Yeah.
Because you find that the people who drive the agenda currently, it is more of it's money,
Yes.
profit.
Yes.
And profit that does not look at the people who came up, let's say, with the intangible, tangible culture. Without giving examples, and it's all there in online, you'll see it. There are times Africans have lost out to the big tech.
Yeah.
The people who are, making the money, like, let me use an example of one professor, a professor of culture. One time he came to the commission and said, the Lion King?
Yep.
The people who are making money out of that story, they have nothing to do with Africa. That's the sad story.
Yeah.
But if you watch The Lion King, for young people like you, I know you must have watched the cartoon series.
I watched
Lion
it.
King.
Yes, and I watched.
Is that not an African story?
Yes, you were raised to believe it's an African story, but even African names. There's Simba, there's Nala. I can't remember the other characters' names, but yeah, you think that's the Masai Mara. Yeah.
But who is making money out of that story?
Not us.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that is how your heritage has been taken. I think even Kitenge, for example.
Yeah.
Here it is patented by, Kitenge is purely Kenyan. It's a Kenyan story.
Yes, it is a Kenyan story.
But somebody patented it, and he or she is the one who makes the money.
Right. Oh.
That's the sad story.
It is, and it's a sad reality.
And this kind of examples can be told over and over again. So as young people who are in the tech space, my advice to you is that take over the African story and use the technologies that have now come up to completely change the story. You see, we always say within the Commission for UNESCO that Africa missed the first industrial revolution.
Yep, we did.
Missed the second industrial revolution. It missed the third industrial revolution.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you are in the fourth. I don't know whether you've joined the big league. And there's now the fifth industrial revolution.
Yeah.
That will purely be driven by AI and what it has got to offer.
Okay.
I see like this fifth industrial revolution.
Yes.
Africa, if we believe, can leapfrog and join the big league and make a whole difference. Because I see like AI has flattened the curve.
It has. I believe so. Yeah.
We are all at the same level.
We are.
But if we again allow the other, continents to drive the agenda, Africa and its youth will not have it smooth. So that's why you have this opportunity now to make the difference as young people.
Yeah.
And, the sky can only be the limit. Sometimes it can be very emotional, Stella, but let's, the reality has to be said.
Okay.
What is it that we as African don't have?
Okay.
We have the brains, we have the schools.
We do.
Now, the fiber optic cables are all here. What a young person in the United States can do, or a young Chinese person can do in Beijing, or a young European can do within the European Union, can just be done right here. And as old people, we are there to mentor you, to encourage you.
Okay.
Then you make the money. Let the mistakes of our time not be passed over to our children.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, you rallied for young people to think as entrepreneurs, to be innovators. Okay. Now, they innovate and they have what we call assets. Okay. Now, in protecting those assets, as you know, we often come across articles and conversations surrounding Africa as innovators, but also as consumers and contributors, like what you've insinuated earlier, but not a controller. Now, when I say controller, because this young person will come up with a fantastic innovation, a fantastic business. However, at some point, they may not own that asset. Somebody will see them as a contributor. Now, in your opinion, or can you just comment on what mechanisms are currently in place, and if there are none, urgently needed to safeguard Africa's cultural heritage in the digital world? So you have your assets, that's your culture, but what do we then need to ensure that, I've innovated something as a young person, but then I no longer own it down the line? What do you think we need to do, or what is it?
Thank you very much. And one of the functions of UNESCO is coming up with standards.
Okay.
And standards, international standard settings, instruments. And at the beginning, I told you that I was privileged to be the president of the commission that gave the world a standard setting instrument on the recommendations on ethics of AI. Over time, from 1945, when UNESCO was created or established by the founding fathers, UNESCO has been able to give the world various guidelines through standard setting instruments. In the culture space, for example, in 1972, UNESCO gave the world the Convention on World Heritage. In 2003, it gave the world a Convention on Intangible Cultural Heritage. In 2005, it gave the world the Convention on Diversity, the promotion of diversity of cultural expression. What are these instruments? What are these standard setting instruments? They provide guidelines on how legislative frameworks in the world can protect the vulnerable, like what you're saying. So member states are guided on how to come up with policies and frameworks to ensure that exploitation or theft of such expressions are not lost.
Okay.
So now, on building on what is currently existing,
Yeah.
UNESCO does not want people's cultural expressions, either through music or dance or art,
Yeah.
to be lost.
Yeah.
So through these conventions, although they have come now after the world has really moved on to AI,
Yeah.
they still make a lot of sense today. Because that is why, again, UNESCO added the recommendation on AI. It
Yeah.
knew that AI will come up with its problems, and UNESCO gave guardrails.
Yes.
The recommendation guides member states and people across the world
Mm-hmm.
on responsible use of AI in
Yeah.
culture,
Yes.
responsible use of AI in education,
Yeah.
responsible use of AI on issues that relate to gender,
Mm-hmm.
and on, including even development of technologies
Yeah.
in the AI space.
Yeah.
So it will be very bad for a software developer
Yeah.
to take African heritage
Yes.
and present it to the world as his or her invention.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what we should stop. And for sure, if that happens, Africans should ask for restitution.
You think so?
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because the one time there is a young person from United States who was a lot of roots in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
One time said, no, I don't want to use the example of the film. He said, this film is based on African story.
Yes.
Why is it? People have made billions out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the African who came up with this story has completely zero money.
Yeah, they're not
They are
being
not being
compensated,
they are
are
not being
they?
compensated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what should be done?
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of push
Yeah.
should go all the way to the United Nations meetings in New York.
Okay.
It should go to the African Union.
Yes.
The good thing, the Agenda 2063, being that was given to us by the African leaders
Yeah.
and presidents,
Mm-hmm.
it gives us wonderful aspirations, and protection of cultural expression is one of the aspirations and of our leaders. So using these instruments which are already there,
Yeah.
we can change. We can change the situation as it is. So that sometimes we may be forced to use diplomacy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We'll be forced to use legal, interventions.
Yeah.
But let the African get justice.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. A call for restitution. Well, UNGA is next month. That's the United Nations General Assembly. Should we go and have some placards outside and say we demand restitution for digital ownership?
Okay, to change the world,
Yeah.
you can come up with different strategies. And
Okay.
I've said diplomacy is one of them, and the UN provides that platform at the
Okay.
highest level
Okay.
without any acrimony and conflict.
Okay.
There are others, the civil society institutions, that believe that advocacy and
Yeah.
demos
Yes.
and
Placards, restitution.
placards and the UN General Assembly, but I don't advocate for that.
No, you don't.
But also, there is always the knowledge.
Yeah.
Once you are empowered
Mm.
through education,
Yeah.
through capacity building,
Mm-hmm.
you are able to know your rights. And, that kind of restitution is really a human right. And you remember Mandela said
Yeah.
that the greatest weapon you can ever use
Yes.
to change the world
Yes.
is education. Just give young people education,
Yeah.
and they'll know their rights. They'll know how they have lost,
Yes.
and how much. And once you are enlightened, you know, that's why the Swahili people say, mujinga akierefuka, you know, mwerefu huwa mashakani. I don't know how to translate that, but normally you can translate it to our listeners.
I'll
A stupid person, once a stupid person's eyes have been opened, then that bright person is in trouble. I don't know. Could be that's the literal translation, but it's deeper than that. Now Africans' eyes are open,
wide open.
No, we are not going to be swindled anymore.
No, we refuse to
We'll
be.
fight for our rights.
Oh, thank you. I love that. Now, bringing it back to enterprise, particularly tech leaders, building platforms. Essentially, this isn't just about safeguarding a song, a piece of art. It's about the governance of all digital assets. Now, from customer data to the training sets for our AI models. Now, Dr. Joe, how can African enterprises ensure that cultural data and all data isn't exploited unfairly?
Yeah, there are quite a number of interventions that we need to come up with.
Yeah.
I've already said, let's sensitize our people.
Yes.
And I want to commend you for this podcast. This is a good intervention.
Thank you.
Another intervention, really, although some of these platforms are owned by the West, let's also make use of them. They come with their advantages.
They do.
It is not that it's all bad.
No.
Sometimes our African culture, says if you don't have a matchbox, you could cross over to your neighbor to borrow salt.
Yep.
You don't have fire, you borrow fire.
You do.
So using that kind of thinking, we can make use of the platforms that are there currently to change the African story. And I know quite a number of young people are using them to make money.
Yes.
For example, in TikTok and Facebook, all this monetizing these platforms to change the African story. What we don't want are these platforms to take advantage of our young people and not to compensate them appropriately, not to pay what they pay young people in the US or in China or in Europe. Let the payments, the compensation be standard. That is the recommendation. We don't want the compensation be based on the region you come from, or gender, or if you're a person living with disability.
Exactly.
Let it be all inclusive and not be based on race or any kind of religion or
or the community you come from.
Or the community you come from.
Now, moving on to a more human and social sciences dimension, in your capacity as a leader of the social and human science program, you look beyond the technology, of course. Now, what does this digital transformation mean for everyday Africans? You've talked about the youth, but what of, for women and for rural communities? Using your example of restitution, what would it mean for a rural community in, I don't know, Oloitoktok? Yeah.
At the beginning, I told you that in this social and human sciences program, we push for social development across across all sectors, social development. And what is social development?
Yeah.
It's when you uphold human rights. It's when you are ethical in whatever you do.
Yeah.
It's when you involve the women. It's when you involve the youth. And it is when, you are in charge of the African story.
Yeah.
And I told you, what is this to be in charge of the African story? The Social and Human Sciences program noted that the history of Africa was Eurocentric. Eurocentric in this way.
Yeah.
That the story was being told but from using a European lens. European lens, and you went to school when, I don't know, during our could be you are much younger. During our time, as we were told, so and so discovered Mount Kenya, so and so discovered Lake Victoria, and we believed it. But through the Social and Human Science program, we are rewriting the African story, and UNESCO came up with the 9 volumes, which they refer to as General History of Africa. The good thing, this story, the General History of Africa, has been digitized, and it has been put in a film. Zainab Badawi, the renowned BBC journalist, did a documentary on the African story. And you cannot believe this story is from the pre-colonial times, the colonial times, and post-independence Africa. The story is available on the YouTube. This is about correcting that narrative that there was no African history, for example. There were experts, let me call them, could be historians from Europe, who believed that there was nothing like African history. And then UNESCO said no.
Oh, that's what happened.
That history that is not documented. The European historians then believed that if history or heritage is not documented in writing, that it is not history. But then over time, we discovered that oral tradition is a source of history. Archaeology is a source of history. Anthropology is a source of history. So it's not that history that is not written is not history. So through the Social and Human Science program, we are trying to correct that wrong narrative and giving the general history of Africa to the school system, to young people, and now using the technologies that are there. You can do a cartoon series on the successful African leaders. How Africans successfully fought colonization. And all these great traditions and cultures of Africans are documented, like what you're doing now, in digital formats for the future. So what we're doing as a commission for UNESCO through the Social and Human Sciences is to ensure that ethics is upheld in whatever we do. Let's be ethical. As we develop the technologies, let's do tech that is ethical. Let's be inclusive. let's include women. Let's not do tech that discriminates against women.
Yeah.
Let's do tech that targets all, tech for all,
Tech for all, yeah,
not
right.
just for an, exclusive
Mm.
people. And let's make it affordable.
Mm.
Let's make it accessible,
Mm.
and on and on. So then we don't want tech just for a few people. Let's, if it's education, and that is why the revision of, or the reform of the Kenyan curriculum, to ensure that, ICT skills
Yeah.
are, are given to young people from a tender age. As
Yeah.
it should be part of the curriculum from ECD.
Yes.
And I was very happy recently when I went to a school here around Nairobi and I saw young people coding, young people from grade 1 doing coding.
Yeah.
And I said, Kenya is now in safe hands. Let's not leave these things to Europe and the West and America. So in social sciences, we ensure that let the youth, because they are the majority,
They are.
spearhead this. They can't leave everything to us. As we are just 30% of the Kenyan population.
Now who's
Older
us?
people.
Oh, older people.
We are just about 30 to 30%.
Yeah.
70% is made up of youth.
Yes.
And the young people.
Yeah.
So you people, you are, the future belongs to you. So you have to lead. As we will be there to guide, to mentor, to encourage, and to tell you that it can be done. Just like the way school teachers and the head teachers encourage the young people to pass the exams. That is exactly what we are there to do for you. And then Kenya will be in safe hands in a few years to come. We want to leapfrog, the way I say, to be a first world country in a record time. And it can be done.
I believe so.
And tech provides that opportunity.
I believe so.
All this money we need, dollars for growth, it's there in the tech. It's there in tech.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay, we've had it right here. It's there in the tech. Now, as we wrap up, if you had one clear call to action for the African policymakers and a call to action for an African CIO, what would that look like? What would the call for action be?
I think for me, I want to thank you very much. This kind of partnership with the CIO Africa.
Yeah.
It shows what partnership can do. At the very beginning, I said partnership makes a big difference.
Yeah.
No one institution, whether private or public, can claim to have solutions to all problems.
Yeah.
So let's partner. Let's work together. I also want to say that as policymakers draft the law, draft the policies and frameworks to drive the tech space, they need to reach out to the private sector and the NGO world and various experts for them to be able to do good policies that really address African problems.
Yeah.
Like, for example, some of the problems we've identified of language barriers and apps that don't represent Africans, that are not inclusive, hijacking of the African story by other players out there, and on and on. So the policymakers need to work with players like you to get recommendations on really what we need to do.
Yeah.
The solutions are there.
Yeah.
And these problems can only be solved by us. And always get the youth voice. Let young people give their perspective. Because there's this Swahili saying that it's the wearer of the shoe that who knows where it pinches. Yeah. So if let's not try to make a shoe before we consult the wearer, whether it's pinching or it's not pinching. So let's work together.
Yes.
Let's embrace each other. Let's listen to your other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can be able to address these challenges that we've discussed in this podcast. So working together.
Yeah.
And also don't forget that research plays a big role. Let's engage with universities.
Yeah.
Many universities have done studies in what we are discussing.
Okay.
And all their recommendations are in the shelves. You can't believe.
Yeah.
And nobody knows about them.
Yeah.
That's the sad reality.
Yeah.
So how do we ensure that what the universities are churning out are translated to things that I refer to as policy paper?
Yeah.
Where policymakers are advised on really what they need to do. So universities play a big role in research, so let's not forget them. And even institutions that have research departments, they also have quite a lot. And as a Commission for UNESCO, we have committed to publish the research outputs for free without charging even a cent. And that's why we have a top journal that we refer to as the Kenya National Commission for UNESCO journal.
Oh, and how can somebody access that?
It's free online. You can just check it out there.
And what?
If you want to see people who are publishing in this space of tech and culture and communication, the link, all the recommendations are there. And we provide that platform for free. We don't charge even a cent. Some other journals charge as high as $500.
Yes.
To have your work published. We have peer-reviewed, papers. Our professors who review our papers and the manuscripts that are submitted to us, they are spread all over the world. The irony is that much of that work is downloaded in the United States because there's a way we monitor. So the Americans take research very seriously. They want to know what Africans are doing. But nobody, that is the irony about it.
And it's free.
And it's free.
So we're not reading
free
it.
Publish, free download, free to read.
Oh,
you don't pay even a cent.
Oh, my
So if you want to know what has been published on culture and communication and tech and involvement of young people, women, name it, everything that we have discussed, it's there for free. And the recommendations and what we need to do, even on issue of protection of indigenous languages. And what we have talked about. How to partner, how to, even the issue of use of broadcasts and television and use of TikTok and WhatsApp and YouTube and all Spotify, all these applications. People have already studied, our Kenyans have done studies on them and it's all there.
So, okay, I'm going to walk away learning something new. So it's what you're essentially saying is where we are now with the technology available is we know the how based on the research you've conducted.
Yes.
And we can access the how. So it's taking it back to us as Africans is don't complain that you don't know the how because it's available.
Yes.
Somebody else is using the information.
Yeah.
And you don't have a seat at that table because you're not seeking out the information.
Yes.
Basically, in Swahili, we say, Ag.Deputy, you're not...
Yeah.
You're not showing up. You're not showing up.
Yes.
Okay. I've definitely learned something new today.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, okay. I'll be sure to download the research.
Yes.
Now, final wrap up. From me, culture is the soul of a people, and in the digital age, it's also our signal to the world. The question we must all ask then, Dr. Joe, is are we amplifying our own voices or are we letting others remix our story?
You see, I was taught long time ago that culture is a way of life. What is a way of life? Way of life is our music, our dance, our language, our communication,
Yes.
and our technology. You can't believe, and if we have to learn from the United States, is a developed country, is one of the strongest economies in the world. Do you know they have a museum of virtually everything, and they are coming up with museums every day? Yeah, they have a museum of aviation, a museum of language, name it.
Yeah.
And all those museums are there in Washington, D.C., if you want to. I think, let's copy what, or take what is good and leave what is bad. Or could be next time we hear a museum of AI, a museum of tech, where we learn from and avoid the mistakes of the past.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know whether I got the question correctly. As a parting shot, culture is basically everything.
It is. Yeah.
Culture and protection and preservation of our heritage is basically a human right. Let's ensure that it's not stolen. Let it be protected. Let's protect our languages so then we don't lose them. Let's protect our technology that our people have developed. Like, I think now M-Pesa has been replicated virtually all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it all started from Kenya. That's how innovation, science, technology, and innovation can drive, sustainable development. So investment in science and tech and innovation by the government and all players, and working together, private sector, public sector, non-government organizations, will make a big difference for the country. And I see, like, through the CBE, that is the competence-based education, STI is a big, big pillar. And it can help Kenya leapfrog and join the first world. And with the experts like you, I think we are in safe hands. That's how I'm so optimistic about Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic. Yeah, if we move on, like what the way we are doing stuff,
Yeah.
the sky can only be the limit. Yeah, I think that's what I can share with you, Stella, this afternoon.
I totally agree with you. Well, thank you so much for sharing your critical insights with us. And thank you to our listeners. Remember, Africa's digital future isn't just about infrastructure or code. It's also about identity, heritage, and ownership. I'm Stella Gichuhi, and this has been Tech Talk Africa. Until next time, let's keep moving beyond the headlines.